Hi everyone, this is Men's here. I'm doing a overview of the Tier 8 American premium tank, the T26E4 Super Pershing. As many who have played World of Tanks for a while know, it has gotten a armor change, mostly a nerf, since they did change the frontal armor and kinda hurt the tank a bit, but they did give it a little bit of mobility, which helps. But overall, the main feature of the Super Pershing when it was first released was it had a crap load of space armor on the frontal hull, and turret didn't change too much, but it also has space armor here, so it really eats up heat shells, and it gives it armor not as much as a heavy tank, but it gives it armor more towards a heavy tank than a medium tank that it's listed at. Now the Super Pershing, it makes a okay amount of credits. It's mainly the credit income from premium tanks is from doing damage, or any tank for that matter. And as you see here, the 90mm gun isn't great, but it gets the job done, and the little bit of armor that you have does make it okay. But what really hurts it is the .38 accuracy, which makes fighting at range a little difficult unless if you use a decent amount of APCR, which it does have a very good premium round in that sense. With 258mm of penetration, you can pretty much deal with anything that you come across. Now, as you see here, when you look at the front, the whole armor is okay since it has that little bit of space armor added on it, especially when people shoot heat at you. But one thing that really hurts this tank is it can hold down, which you would think that the frontal turret armor is strong, but a lot of tanks can punch right through it, and that's because, as you see, you kind of just look here, this whole upper section right above that space armor and the mantlet is very weak, and even the little exposed cheeks down here is weak as well, and things with higher penetration can just go right through the armor anyway. So that's a little bit of a downside, since a lot of times when you hold down, your turret armor on the front strong, but since this upper section is very weak, it does lead to a bit of problems. But overall, the view range is okay. Engine power is a little weak, but it's a lot more mobile than it was when it first came out, which is a plus. And it's kind of like a all-around tank that's not good in any one area, but it doesn't really lack in many areas. As you see here, I have a crew from a different tank in there, but I run Brothers in Arms on all my tanks. And equipment-wise, I have a gun rammer and vents to improve the gun, since premium tank, you want to do damage. I always put that on most of my tanks. Then a vertical stabilizer, only because the accuracy needs a bit of help with that .38 accuracy, so every little bit helps. Now for loadout, as far as ammunition, I carry more APCR than AP, only because I like to win, and since it's a premium tank, you can kind of afford to shoot a little bit more APCR, and the Super Pershing sometimes needs that. And then let me just change my fire extinguisher here. I usually run the premium fire extinguishers just because I bought a lot of them. Now, okay, let's hop into a battle here and see what we have. Now the Super Pershing, when they changed it, they did offer people a refund per se, and a lot of people took it since they felt like the Super Pershing was kind of ruined, which it did lose its armor advantage that it had, but at the same time, the little boost that it got did help it a bit, but you can't satisfy everyone. Now for a map like this, I'm gonna mainly stick to the 5, 6, 7 line. That's the most important part of this map in my opinion. But with the Pershing, Super Pershing, you wanna not get into any stupid areas in the beginning and be shot from your flanks. You really want to keep your flanks hidden. So I'm not gonna go to that little shortcut, only because when I start turning to cut into the wall, the enemy will have a decent amount of shots on my side. But the trick with the Pershing, you don't want to get too close to people because they can just shoot right through your weak spots. They're pretty big. But you also don't want to get too far away because then your accuracy comes into play and you'll almost always have to shoot all APCR unless if you're against a weak tank, or you'll risk bouncing a lot of your shots. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to have to go into town since nobody is really going down the 6 line. Usually with the Pershing I'd want to sit back a little bit more than I usually do, but don't know how that Cromwell got through. But with people not pushing ahead at all, I'm going to have to move up a little bit further than I usually would. Stupid. I shouldn't have hesitated there to shoot. Just want to stay angled here. Now, I'm not rushing too much here, only because I have 2 tier 8s in front of me. I have their attention. And it looks like they're being shot at now, so I'm going to be able to push in. Good old radio man taking a shot. He was kind of stupid and gave me his very weak side. As you see here with the regular AP, you can still bounce quite a lot. So I'm going to kind of stay angled. Okay, so that VK is still pushing ahead. Come on, low. I could have got a shot off, but I was blocked. I want to kill that TD, but okay, they're done with the VK. I just didn't want our low to get overwhelmed. Trick to the Pershing, you don't want to, since you're not really specialized in any one area, you don't want to find yourself, say, against a KV5 in close range, because he's just going to keep ramming you and bumping you all over the place. You just want to kind of keep your distance. Don't get flanked too much. Kind of just pick your moments when you want to fight people.
Enemy armor is damaged.
I don't know what the fuck our allied team is doing back there, but Seems like they're afraid to come out and help. Shot on him. I just must have clipped that KV5 a little bit. Anyways, decent match showing you the Super Pershing. Let's see how I did credit-wise. As you see, just over 2,000 damage, which is kind of average for a Super Pershing game. Soaked up a little bit of damage and also spotted a little bit. As you see here though, I didn't really spend that much on ammunition because I have a decent amount of APCR in my depot still. But as you see, even with that, I didn't fire too many APCR shells. The ammunition for the AP rounds, very cheap. Let's see how much they cost here. Only 255 credits, which isn't much. But as you see, the 4,000 on the APCR, that will hit your wallet quite a bit, but you'll still make a profit if you have a premium account. Overall, just under 90,000 credits, which as a tier 8 premium, you'll expect. And overall, let's see if I can't hop into one more battle with the Super Pershing. But overall, the Super Pershing, as I kind of touched on in that match, you just really have to pick your fights. You don't want to get into a close quarters fight with, like I said, a KV5 or a heavy tank that can just face hug you, shoot right through the top of your turret, and just bowl you around. You also don't want to get in a fight with a medium where it's just going to circle you and out DPM you. And other moments where you don't want to get into a long range fight with a, say, a TD or a very accurate gun where he can hit your weak spots and you're just going to be resorting to APCR to damage him. Now, Pearl River, most likely, I don't want to go to the middle, only because I'll be shot from my flanks from an enemy. I'm going to go to the north, only because I don't want to go to the south, just because whenever I go there with slow tanks, my team winds up dying in the north, and then I either have to backtrack or I can't backtrack and we lose. So I'm just going to hope that we can get into a decent spot up here, that FCM's kind of pushing out there. Hopefully I can get up to where he's going in that little elevated part, so I can have a decent footing, especially since there's no artillery to bug me. But I'm actually going to swap the APCR for my first shot, just because it's kind of important to get a decent first shot on people to stop them from pushing. I'm actually going to go to the middle. It's important that we get this T34 out. And let's see if I can't hit him with a HE shell. And of course I freaking missed. There we go. Whoever's driving that Super Pershing must not know his weak spot.
We're shooting blind.
see, I just hit the space armor there. And I missed that shot, but as you see here, you just want to aim where those little bars are on top of the Super Pershing. They're not actually in a hitbox, but the cupola behind it is. And a little trick, as I just did there, you want to point your gun up to kind of block that cupola.
Enemy armor is hit.
Just gotta let him go around me, because I can just hit his side.
They're knocked out.
You don't want to show any side armor in the Pershing that's under auto bounce angle.
That one didn't go through.
Obviously he doesn't, because let's see where he was shooting. He knows how to shoot. He was shooting right at the fucking mantlet of my tank. Granted, the mantlet on the Super Pershing isn't as strong as you would think, but it's kind of ironic. He's like, oh, I know how to aim. Well, if he aimed a little bit higher and hit my cupolas, then I would have been dead, and I would not be alive still. Now, hopefully that RHM isn't going to be over here, but Super Pershing has decent armor from range, so I'm actually going to sit in a cap circle in this little divot here. Goddamn box.
We didn't penetrate their armor. The gunner's dead. We're trying to cover for him.
Okay, I'm low HP, so I'm gonna have to back up here. Ah, that's what was shooting me, that national. Now, I would push up, but I don't have enough HP now. Probably should have pushed through the cap to begin with. That 844 is going to try to come around and flank me. Just try to hide behind this bush a little bit better. Yeah, as you see, I set it up in that little divot. I thought I would have been a little safer, but the top of the Super Pershing's turret just cannot protect you well enough.
Enemy armor is hit.
As you see, that's where I got hit by that one shell that took me down to my current HP's worth. So you really just want to keep that in mind, since it's kind of opposite of a lot of American tanks where they have strong turret fronts and they're good at hold down. Super Pershing isn't exactly, unless if they miss that spot. As you see here, got a decent amount of XP and credits, although I didn't really do much damage compared to the last match, only right around 1700. As you see, I did soak up a decent amount of damage, only because if people don't know where to hit you on a Super Pershing, and they're not firing heat round or non-gold heat rounds, because heat rounds will disappear into your armor, but APCR will just cut right through it because of the penetration. But still a decent profit, even though a lot less due to the less amount of damage that I did. But anyway, Super Pershing, still a good premium tank. It's not the best for people who like a medium tank because it is a little bit slow and more towards a heavy tank, but it's still a solid all-around tank. It just takes a little getting used to, since you do have a few glaring weak spots and your side armor is pretty bad for your speed. But overall, it's a good premium tank, and it's not too hard to learn how to play it, which is good for people just buying their first premium tank. But anyway, thanks for watching my video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and check out my website, wotguru.com.